Good morning, children. Myself Vitika Srivastav, science teacher from Madhara Sindhya Public School. Welcome to your extra classes. These classes are for class 10 and the subject which I will be teaching is biology. The chapter which we will be covering is control and coordination. Now children, in my extra classes, I'll be explaining you chapter 2 control and coordination. In this chapter, we will be covering the topics control and coordination, the introduction to it, important terms, and then I'll be telling you about the plant hormones. Coming on to the first thing, you should know that we all know actually that all the living organisms, they respond and react to changes in the environment, that is stimuli. Yes, we all are reacting to the changes in the environment, and this changes in the environment, it is known as stimuli. For example, you can just take the example of a man. If he touches a very hot utensil accidentally, he quickly pulls his hand away from the hot utensil. So here, heat is the stimulus and the man reacts by moving his hand away from the utensil. Now children, next is response. In case of plants and animals, it is different. Yes, they respond to stimuli, both of them respond to stimuli, but they are responding in different ways. Now for example, the plants, they bend towards light, but the animals, they never bend towards light. Yes, they do not bend towards light, and so they are reacting in different ways. You can see here children, the response in plants is slow. Yes, because only hormones, that is phytohormones, are responsible for growth. But response in animals is fast, because in this case endocrine system, which is involving hormones, and also the nervous system, these both are responsible for the response. Now what is coordination children? The working together of the various organs of an organism in a systematic manner so as to produce proper response to the stimulus, that is known as coordination. So what is coordination? That is when all the organs of the organism, they are working together in a systematic manner so they can produce the proper response, that is known as coordination. Now children, some of the key terms you should know. That is, for survival, an organism's body must respond correctly to various stimuli it receives. Yes, so the first term is stimulus. We had already done it in the previous slide. An agent or sudden change in the external or internal environment which causes a change in organism or any of its body part, that is stimulus. That is any change in the environment which causes the response. Now what is response? That is a change in the organism which is resulting from the stimulus. Whatever changes in the atmosphere is there or environment is there, our body is reacting. So that is how our body is reacting to it, that is known as response. Coming on to receptors. The nerve cells which initiate the wave of impulses towards the central nervous system on receiving the stimulus. These receptors are present in the sense organs and they are initiating the wave of impulses towards the central nervous system when they receive the stimulus. Now what are effectors? These are the muscle or glands which contract or secrete substances when they receive an impulse from the brain or spinal cord. Whenever they are receiving the impulse from the brain or spinal cord, whatever message is given, that is carried by the muscles or glands. And so these are the effectors. Now these terms are clear children. I'll just repeat these terms. Stimulus, an agent or sudden change in the external or internal environment which causes a change in an organism or any of its body parts. What is response? The change in organism resulting from a stimulus, that is response. Receptors, nerve cells which initiate waves of impulses towards the central nervous system on receiving a stimulus. Effectors, muscles or gland which contract or secrete substances on receiving an impulse from the brain or spinal cord, these are effectors. Now coming on to the next thing. Plants, they require light, water, oxygen, mineral and other nutrients for their growth and development. Apart from these external requirements, plants also depend on certain organic compounds to signal, regulate and control the growth of plants. These are collectively called as plant growth regulators or plant growth hormones. There are different type of plant growth regulators which are also referred to as phytohormones. Now children, as I told you, the response in case of plants is very slow. That is because only the phytohormones are responsible for the response. Now before discussing the phytohormones, you should know the meaning of dormancy and breaking of dormancy. A resting inactive condition in which metabolism almost stops, that is known as dormancy. The seed of a plant is inactive or dormant. So a seed must have some conditions so that the dormancy can be break. And these conditions are like water, warmth, air and hormones. These are required to break the dormancy and germinate to form a seedling. Another part of a plant having dormancy, that is the bud. So the bud is a young undeveloped shoot of a plant which on breaking dormancy can form a branch, leaf or a flower depending on its position in the plant. Breaking of the dormancy, it requires certain plant hormones. Now keeping these points in view, we will discuss about the plant hormones. Basically plant growth hormones. What are these? These are organic compounds which are produced naturally within the plants or are synthesized in the laboratories. They profoundly control and modify the physiological process like the growth, development and movement of plants. Based on their action, they are broadly classified into two major groups: plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors. Auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins, these are grouped into plant growth promoters because they are helping in the growth of the plant, they are promoting the growth. While abscisic acid and ethylene are grouped into plant growth inhibitors. Ethylene can be grouped either in the promoters also or into the plant inhibitors also. So basically three promoters are there: auxin, gibberellins and cytokinins. Abscisic acid is the inhibitor. Now plant hormones, as I told you, the growth of the plant, it is because of the growth promoter hormones and growth inhibitor hormones also. These are also responsible for the growth. They are also helping in the growth. How they are helping in the growth? This abscisic acid, this is helping the detachment of the fruit from the plant. Now coming on to the first thing, the growth of the plant, they can be divided into three stages: cell division, cell enlargement and cell differentiation. So cell division, that you know, the cell divides. Cell enlarge, it enlarges in the size, and then cell differentiates to form tissues and tissues to organs. Clear? Now children, these three stages have particular locations in a plant. These three stages, as well as promotion of dormancy, breaking of dormancy, stomata control, falling of leaves, fruit growth, ripening of fruits and aging in leaves, they are controlled by various plant growth hormones. Now children, coming on to plant hormones. These are also known as phytohormones, I had already told you, and there are four major plant hormones: auxin, gibberellin, cytokinins and abscisic acid. Rest of the two also I will be telling you here: brasinosteroids and ethylene. The first one, which is auxin, these are the plant hormones which are helping in the stem elongation, root growth and the fruit development. But children, the effect is different in stems and the root. Auxin, these are having the opposite effect on the growth of stems and roots. This speeds up the growth in case of stem, but it slows down the growth rate in roots. Auxin is made by the cells at the tips of stems and root, and these auxin hormones is responsible for the phototropic and geotropic responses of plants. Auxins are the plant hormone which promote cell enlargement and cell differentiation in plants. They also promote the fruit growth. This hormone controls the plant hormone to light and gravity. That is only it is helping in the growth of stem, because it is giving the response to the light, and roots also because it is giving toward it is giving the response towards, or that is giving the response towards a gravity. Coming on to the second one, which is cytokinins. They are helping in the root growth and it is stimulating germination. The main 2 points. Cytokinins are the plant hormones which promote the cell division in plants. They also help in breaking the dormancy of seeds and buds. They delay the aging in leaves. Cytokinins promote the opening of stomata and they also promote the fruit growth. Then children, coming on to gibberellins. It is responsible for seed and bud germination, stem elongation and fruit development. Gibberellins are the plant hormones which promote the cell enlargement and differentiation only in the presence of auxins. Gibberellins help in breaking the dormancy in seeds and buds. They also promote growth in fruits. Gibberellin hormones, it is involved mainly in the shoot extension, that is in the growth of the stem of various plants. Coming on to the next one, brassinosteroids. It is inhibiting the root growth and leaf abscission. Yes, so it is actually not promoting the growth, it is acting as an inhibitor. Coming on to abscisic acid, it is inhibiting growth and it promotes seed dormancy. Abscisic acid is a plant hormone which functions mainly as a growth inhibitor. It promotes a dormancy in seeds and buds, that is the opposite of breaking of dormancy. It also promotes the closing of stomata. Abscisic acid also promotes the wilting and falling of leaves, which is also known as abscission. It also causes the detachment of flowers and fruits from the plants. Now children, I think I made myself clear with this topic, and you should just know one thing, that basically these auxin, gibberellins, cytokinins, these are all 3 hormones which are promoting the growth of plants. On the other hand, this abscisic acid is there which is inhibiting the growth of the plant, and these all hormones, they are responsible for the growth. Now in my next lecture, I will be telling you how these phytohormones, they are responsible for the different kind of plant movements. Thank you children.